Good afternoon, my name is James Iredale and I'm here to watch the Elite Men's Underwater Hockey Australia and Canada game, and I'm joined by Mr. Arnold Bacoli today.
Yes, thank you to all the viewers around the world watching this match between Canada and the elite men of Australia. I'm sure both sides are really keen to meet each other, and I expect a really good game from both teams. So I'm curious to see how where Canada's come the last few years since post-COVID, and their improvements, as I'm also looking towards and forward to the improvements that our elite men will have hopefully done in the last 4 years. What do you think? What are your thoughts, James?
Yes, I think Australia have a lot to improve on as of their last game where they drew 1-1 with Colombia. And I'm not sure what the previous result of these Canadians are, but I'm sure they're keen to improve as well. I think the biggest thing about this game is going to be the first 5 minutes. Both teams are going to bring a very high intensity game, very high traffic, and no one's going to want to let it pass them. So I'm looking forward to see some really high quality hockey.
We've only got how long left, James?
I think it's less than a minute now. We should hear the buzzer soon.
All right. Like all Australians, I'm looking forward to this match.
I'm very much the same, Arnie. Looking to see how my team goes. Looking to see if it's Amar or Shannon that's going to be one of the first people to the puck.
I'm putting my money on Amar.
He is a speedy little man. Here we go. It's all away.
First strike.
And it's Shannon Griffiths. Gets it out to his right winger. They're going to start driving that centre channel from the right side. See Tommy M, the captain, pushing it from behind.
We've got a great movement here forward.
Great drive, straight off the strike. Australia is at back. I'm sure Canada are going to be keen to respond to this one.
Well, getting a goal on the strike, on that strike breath, is shows a lot about the desire, but obviously there was an infringement, and Canada's got the puck.
Yes, it hasn't been allowed, and Canada are going to have to see what they can do from here. Just push to that left-hand wall. I'm sure that Gav Wise is going to want to rip it off and throw it out to, I think it's Josh McKenzie on this one. This has been a foul called. And it's against Canada. Australia have advantage here.
It's still a good contest this early on. Both teams are very, very fit, and I think the numbers on the bottom are keeping the game close. And Canada's certainly staying in this match longer than I thought, but no, they've cleared it again, so well done, Canada.
Yes, oh, looks Tommy Miller, goal number 1.
They kept it out so long, but they couldn't stop Tommy Miller.
The recycle was inevitable. Unfortunate for Canada. Let's hope they can improve.
Which players from Australia are sitting out on this game, James?
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure we can see them standing by the poolside.
Yeah, I've got some chats coming back asking who's out for Australia.
We'll have to get back to you on that one, as they're not in sight.
Another good strike by Australia. Great numbers on the bottom. And again, they're driving all the way to the goal.
Canada doesn't seem to be able to.
But Canada seems to clear well then. And they were under a lot of pressure then.
Yeah, Canada doesn't seem to be able to apply too much friction to the Australian forward line until late in their defensive half. So if they can improve on that and get it wide as early as they can. There's a foul against Australia. Looks like it's chopping. It's probably little Hunter Jones with his chopsticks.
So let's see how Canada set up against Australia on this free play. Canada's moving really well. We're trying to switch it and get away from their pack of players.
There's Mr. Big Reece Milburn driving hard, and looks like he's got a Sacramento to back him up.
And then attacking the centre of the goal, but Canada's managed to stop that initial onslaught, but maybe not all of it.
Tommy, again, slamming it into the back of the tray.
So well done, Tommy, again. 2 goals, 2 minutes.
We're off again. It's going to be pretty close in this one, but Canada makes it first. Both these teams seem to like that far wall from the camera. Seems to be a bit of ground being made by the Australians. That seems to have gone in. Andre to fall.
Third goal to Australia.
I think there's a free it's being called. It's no goal.
No goal?
It's against Australia.
These movements with a lot of numbers on the bottom, it's really good. It's really good to see that the referees can still see any stick infringement in the middle of that pack of players. So well reffing.
Yes, the referees are doing a good job to pick up any minuscule fouls, how small they may be, and obviously penalise them as they see fit. Australia are trying to take it wide. Gary Rosenvolt handing it off to Andre to fall. Andre feeding Gary again, who gives someone a nice sanger on the outside. He then feeds Mr. Josh McKenzie,
Good possessive hockey now.
There goes Joel Haiti trying to provoke the back, and then I think that's Hunter Jones. No, it's Andre to fall.
Great clear by Canada.
Just goals, but I think there's a foul that's been pulled, and it's a goal.
There you go. I was surprised at the clear. So it was an illegal clear and a goal.
Great work by Andre then to swim it in. As I know, he's a very fast and hard player, and he does very well to make the puck go on the try. Big sluggish Shannon Hearn was late to that puck. Ma battling away hard on the wall with the Canadian fellas. Josh McKenzie makes a big stream down the pool. That's good work for him. Canada are keen to get it back down. Gav Wise, one of the most experienced players here at the comp, goes back inside a Canadian player. Puts it into the middle of the pool.
That's really good movement by Australia. Stretching the opposition from one side of the court to the other.
Yes, they do very well at that to then find the penetrating holes and gaps between the players to then succeed into a goal.
Shadow makes it a little bit hard to see what's going on. We apologise for that, but I guess this time of day, there's not much we can do about it, being an open pool.
Yes, the nice glare of the sun in the Gold Coast seems to have its downsides, unfortunately. Seems to be a bit stuck in the corner. I'm sure the Australians are trying to recycle it out and the Canadians are trying to keep onto the wall. The referees have pulled up something. It's against Canada. Australians will be keen to set up a wall and screen the attacking Canadian players out from attacking their backs. You see one of the Australians is keen to get down to the tray to pull it in. Seems a bit tight in there, but I think the puck's been cleared.
It's still coming in though.
No.
Very good clear there by Canada. That reverse by that Australian player almost went in.
The refs think there was breaking in there. I don't
Curious
think.
to know if it's Australia's puck or Canada's puck.
I think it's breaking on Canada, so Australia will
Okay.
advance to the middle of the pool, and Canada have been given a warning. So any further breaking, and they'll have players being thrown out. We see a lot of shoveling in there.
Should be
But
a
Josh
goal.
McKenzie slams it into the tray. It's good work from the back to progress to that point in the field. I'm sure the Canadian coach has something to say to his players. I imagine he'd be looking to call a timeout soon. No, wait. It's a no goal. It's flicked in.
That should be in.
Josh McKenzie fills in the tray again with the puck. I think the refs are satisfied with that goal. They take it back to the middle.
Australia look much better than this morning. They're looking a lot sharper. Certainly the opposition is not the same level, but that was a very tough match against Colombia this morning. A draw between the elite Colombians and elite men of Australia. And I think that might have sharpened the pencil a little bit for this match. And I can understand why Australia's come out to hopefully gain a greater percentage. I think it's really important in this round robin that if you win a match to get as much percentage as you can. So if there's ever a draw, they need to be able to stay ahead of Colombia in score. So very important from their perspective to make the most of every opportunity.
Yes, I imagine the Australians didn't feel the best about their draw against Colombia. I imagine they are very keen to improve and set themselves high on the ladder for the elite men's division. They come very close here. There's something called. It's a penalty shootout. I wonder who's going to take this.
They've called a penalty goal. So the infringement was close enough to goal to say it stopped a certain goal, and the referees have the opportunity to call it that way if they so choose. Fast breaks that are stopped illegally close to goal can also be the same, awarded a penalty goal. Otherwise, if there's any chance that it may not have scored a goal, then the penalty still can be taken 2-on-1.
Yes, the Australians pepper the middle. I think that's Reece Milburn making a strive as a forward. Canada defending it real tight until that goal tray. So if they can hold off here.
And we're back on the goal tray. The pressure is just so intense for Canada. And that was a missed opportunity by that
Andre
forward.
Fall. I'm sure he'd be
A
looking
real missed opportunity. but it goes in.
I think off Hunter Jones, I think. This goal has been allowed, as some of the few in the past have not been. I wonder now, Canada, by the sounds of it, might have pulled.
Might call a timeout.
No, I don't think there has been. No, Canada have pulled a timeout. I was corrected.
It makes sense. I think it's time for the coach to have a bit of a chat and see if they can he can refocus the boys and you know, take something away from the start of this match and gain some knowledge and learnings from what's just happened. And yeah, be good to see what the change up in Canadian game is from now on.
Yeah, so I wonder if they're going to sit their players a bit wider to obviously find the gaps around the Australian forwards and backline, but I'd imagine he'd be really keen to just get them fighting fitter on the bottom, as they are already fit, but I think they're letting the Australians get underneath them a little bit.
Not far away from a restart.
Coach Greg Bush should be looking forward to seeing some Olympicism. There's a Mars first to the puck, flicking it wide to the right. Australia are looking to rip it out. As Canada are trying to get along that back wall. Seems to be a tight lockdown by the Canadians as they're trying to find holes in the Australians' offensive side to get the puck through and out of danger. You see here the forward gets it wide
towards the centre of the goal, and that makes a difference of finding the goal.
Yes. As it is said, the goal is only a few centimetres wide along the back wall, but it's 3 metres long on the front, so you may as well go from the middle. And it's pushed off the ball again. See Shane Griffiths first. Lugging it through the Canadians. He has his support arrive. It's a really good push by Australia. It's unfortunate their winger wasn't able to keep it down on the left-hand side. Seems there's a foul's been called and it's half-time, actually.
Well, it was a good first half by Australia. After this morning, I think they all had to get on the bottom and start to build a relationship with each other. Obviously, we don't have the competition to play Australia against anyone close by, other than New Zealand, of course. And we haven't had many games against New Zealand for a while. So, you know, I believe Australia should only get better during the tournament as they grow with each other. And this game, more than any, when communication is nil below the surface, that the link between players and the trust between players really goes a long way to improving the overall game plan and game effect. So I'm actually thinking they really need this game just to solidify the link between players. So I'm sure Coach Bush would be reflecting that in their statement at half time, and we'll soon see tomorrow how this has helped Australia sort of solidify their strengths and their weaknesses. That's Masters women, yeah. Okay, we're back in play in the second half when we're almost on the goal tray for Canada. And we are. First goal in the first 30 seconds. So
yes.
Fantastic strike by Australia. Again, all the numbers are on the bottom, and it really does make it tough for Canada being able to defend that without the same numbers on the bottom.
Yeah, you can see how fit and how flat and fast Australia was there. They were very determined to put it in Australia to get their second half off to a good start. Oh, that was a big dummy sold by Shannon Hearn there.
And again, the numbers on strike is just outweighing the pressure by Canada, and back in again.
It looks like Canada have conceded another goal. They sure have.
That's 2 goals in effectively 2 minutes.
1 minute, actually.
They're 30 seconds beyond, they haven't scored yet.
Andre Defoe scored the last one. We'll let you know briefly who scored the second one.
2 goals, 2 minutes.
And we're off again.
That was a
Australia
good
beaten
strike
to the
by
strike.
Canada. Beat us then. Now we're talking about a decent fight by Canada. This is much, much better. Chopping all our flicks off between and putting pressure on each and effective possession by Australia. That's the start of building the pressure you need to, you know, halve the contest, I guess.
Gary Rosenwald swims this puck wide or into the centre channel, where he finds Tommy. Tommy's going to be keen to keep on feeding the centre of that pool. As the backs follow through, and I think that puck's just landed in the tray. It's unfortunate for the Canadian defence. Let's hope they can get behind the puck a bit more and stay flat along the bottom. Striker will be resumed in a second. Here we go. Canada getting through the Australian forward line unsuccessfully as it's pushed back to the wall, and looks like Australia are in possession of it. Free is pulled against Australia. Canada will have advantage here. Let's hope that they can take it wide and make Australia pay for some ground. Canada feeding that right-hand wall. See, a lot of teams in this competition are very keen to drive that right-hand wall. Very few are keen to take it to the left. See a bit of displeasure on the Australian players' faces there, as their swim across the pool is dismantled by the ref's call. Canada will be taken back over to the middle of the pool. They'll have strong numbers to hopefully get a puck in the try here. You see big Tommy M here. Very keen to get a run. And I think that looks like Andre to fall, gunning it down the middle of the pool. Brilliant swim from him. Strikers resumed. Both teams push off the wall. Looks like Canada will just beat Australia to the strike on this one. Seem to be taking a deeper approach off the strike than usual. But Australia are keen to put it back onto their back sticks so they can get a wide swing around the court. Seems to have paid off. They've gained a few metres on the Canadians. Put them on the back foot. This looks like a brilliant drive from Australia. Really feeding the puck with a number of players on the bottom. Canada seems to be able to get it wide. Well, Canada have got a break here. Will that player be able to track? He's able to pass it off to another player to swim it on. They seem to be covered by the Australians. Surely they can find a hole here and get through. Canadians are able to find ground, but not clean ground as it's taken away from them by Australian players. Right underneath the Australian sub bench isn't good use for them, as Australians can refill with fresh legs and fresh lungs and get going again, as they are. Looks like Big Shannon Griffiths is along the way. Vinny's wingers. They've got it. That's a nice swim done there. Shannon Griffiths staying on the bottom for a while there. That's good work by the Australian vice-captain. This is good news for Australia's final hopes, as they're now 12-0 up on Canada. Not so fortunate for the Canadians though, as they will be hoping to do a bit better in the future games.
Time out. Good goal by Shannon Griffiths, that last one. I think, like James is mentioning, after the draw this morning with Colombia, it's really important to make every post a winner. And these matches against lesser opponents, you really have to try to get the percentage up so that you put pressure back on Colombia, so that way you can stay one step above Colombia with their matches against Canada as well. So, you know, that really means that Colombia's got to go really hard against Canada and at least equal the score to keep the edge against Australia.
Yes, yes. Australia and Colombia will be watching what one another do, as they obviously have the 1 points difference. But I imagine there'll be other teams that are going to be drawing as well, so there's not too much to worry about in that behalf.
Game started again, and I think I might have to go and tell the teams to play on this side of the court so we could see them.
Yes, it seems
I think that's the least I can do.
Seems to be a bit of vision impairment from the Gold Coast Sun. Both teams are trying to diffuse pressure over the park. Imagine both teams will be very tired, as they haven't seen too many subs in the last little while. Obviously being on the other side of the pool, there's not going to be too much clean opportunity to get players in and out without causing your team ground. Australia have a good chance here to score. That attack there is not giving up. Their big bodies getting thrown in there. Australia are happy to check that try from an angle, but it's called a goal. Canada have been able to put up a good defence in the last few minutes. Let's hope they can keep that going and hold Australia out for another goal. Australia have to swim back here as Canada's given a free puck and their own advantage. Australia seem to be making
good,
ground down the outside of the pool. It turns into a goal. That goal has been refused by the referees and given advantage to Canada. Canada can get to the bench and get some fresh subs into the game. Canada not keen to go towards the sub bench. They must be fighting fit at the moment. But Australia seem to take that into the corner. The refs conclude it's a goal. 14-0 for Australia to Canada.
That's a really good score.
You wouldn't be too pleased if you're a Canadian. You'd hope your country can do a bit better in their future games. The Australians are very keen to pepper the middle, but the Canadians have something to say about that, taking it wide. Australia seems to push it back further though. Looking for the breakdown in the Canadian defence. It's thrown into the tray. We're back in it for the final term. Let's see if Australia can get a goal in the remaining time. We have to be nice and quick though. Not much time left on the clock now. Canada's able to hold it up. There's a vicious full curl there from the back to feed the forwards, but I believe that's a call from the referee saying it's Canada's advantage. He's concluded it's full time. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the elite men's Canada versus Australia game, with Canada conceding 15 goals and Australia leaving the pool with a good grin on their face after this morning's draw to Colombia. I'm James Ardale and Arnie Piccoli, and we will leave you now.